Last spring, something wild really happened when the creator of X-Men 97 was fired unceremoniously from the series just a couple weeks before it premiered. And this is a time when they'd usually be trying to promote it. So the fact that they actually fired him just kind of indicates that something big happened behind the scenes and they were trying to get rid of him. And up until now, we really haven't heard much about that. But now it's starting to kind of resurface in the news because now with moving forward with season 2 of X-Men 97, the creator of it, Beau DeMayo, who was fired, is now arguing and threatening to sue Disney because they're taking his name off the credits as the creator of the series, to which Disney is now responding to his allegations and his threats of lawsuits by pointing out, it's like, no, you were fired because you had inappropriate conduct behind the scenes, and that's why we're getting rid of you. And this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter. The headline: Marvel fires back over X-Men 97 creators claim he was stripped of season 2 credit, cites egregious investigation findings. This is an exclusive from the Hollywood Reporter. Beau DeMayo completed his duties on season 2 prior to his firing in March, and that's why he's saying he should be credited with this. But I guess Disney is claiming, since he was fired for egregious things behind the scenes, that they're not actually going to give him credits, or they don't have to anymore. 5 months after Marvel Studios fired X-Men 97 creator Beau DeMayo for mysterious reasons, the writer claimed Thursday that he no longer will get credit on the second season of the hit Disney Plus show, which he completed work on before his exit. DeMayo made the claim on social media, saying it was part of a troubling pattern he endured while working for Marvel. Marvel shot back soon after in a statement to the Hollywood Reporter, gave insight into the firing, saying it occurred after an internal investigation revealed egregious findings. They don't actually say in this article from the Hollywood Reporter what those findings are, but there are other people who are reporting from their inside knowledge that they are pretty bad, and I will get more on that in a moment. But first, let's continue on with this one. DeMayo, who spent several years at Marvel working on a draft of the long-gestating Blade feature as well as on the TV show Moon Knight, added, "Sadly, this is the latest in troubling patterns I suffered through on while working on X-Men 97 and Blade." He's basically trying to say he's being discriminated against because he's a gay black man, which, yeah, a lot of people were pointing out that's kind of unusual for Disney to fire a gay black man in the manner that they did back in the springtime. But Marvel's really not having that, they say here in the article. Marvel responded by saying that DeMayo's behavior was the cause of his firing and for him losing his credits. Mr. DeMayo was terminated in March 2024 following an internal investigation, said a Marvel spokesperson in a statement. Given the egregious nature of the findings, we severed ties with him immediately, and he has no further affiliation with Marvel. The article continues. Sources say the following his exit, an agreement was reached between the two parties over the issue of tweeting about the show, something that DeMayo had continued to occasionally do. In light of breaches, his credit for season 2 was removed. While no details of the cause of the termination or the internal reviews have surfaced, sources say it involved sexual misconduct, and you can actually look at his own Twitter history and social media use and see that, yes, he has talked about the show. Now, whether that's actually in his contract where he's not allowed to talk about it, we don't know because we don't have a copy of that actual agreement. But the misconduct allegations are pretty severe. I don't think they're severe enough, or at least I haven't seen them to be severe enough to necessarily warrant a criminal investigation. But Disney saw fit to actually sever ties with him right before his show premiered. So suffice to say, I think they're pretty bad. And we got these insiders coming out saying that this is actually what was going on behind the scene. This article from comicbookmovie.com, X-Men 97, shocking new details emerge about Beau DeMayo's alleged sexual misconduct working on a Marvel series. It's been a wild 24 hours for X-Men 97 fans when a head writer, Beau DeMayo, who was fired from the series in March, suggests his name was removed from season 2 credits for posting LGBTQ plus themed fan art. Marvel Studios hit back with a scathing statement of its own. I already went over what Marvel's statement was on the matter. This article just has a bit more details on what he did specifically. Jeff Snyder, who has decided to elaborate on what reportedly happened during DeMayo's time in charge of the show. It's claimed that DeMayo sent nude photos of himself in suggestive hero poses to several young male staffers working on X-Men 97. Yikes. Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. With his excuse was that they could be used as inspiration for the animated series. Okay, do they have to be nude photos of you to say, hey, here's some inspiration? Couldn't you just send them photos of you clothed and posing at the same time? Does it really have to be suggestive nude photos? Of course, they don't have to be. So I can see why, if he actually did do this sort of thing, why they would fire him. DeMayo also runs a non-explicit OnlyFans account, which was previously said to have upset Disney. And this was the reason a lot of people were speculating he got fired, that they found out about this account, so they decided to get rid of him. But it's looking like that's not only the reason, or that might not be a reason at all. It seems like they're firing him because of his conduct while he was actually working and not what he was doing outside of work. The head writer was told to stop sending these photos, but allegedly continued. I like how they actually tell him to stop sending these photos. Could you imagine in any other job that if you were sending these type of photos to people that you work with, that they would actually give you a warning? Most places they would just fire you outright, but apparently in Hollywood, it's just kind of like a stop doing that. Okay, if you don't stop it, then we'll tell you again. But I guess in this situation, they decided to follow through with it. I would stand the wager that if there was someone else higher up in the company who was doing this sort of thing, they'd probably sweep it underneath the rug. But someone, if they feel like that they can get rid of them or without causing too much of a fuss, or if they really don't like this person and they want to find an excuse to get rid of them, then they'll crack down on this. But I imagine if like Bob Iger or Kevin Feige was doing this sort of thing, nothing would happen to them. The head, he was stopped. Okay, Snyder also claims that DeMayo groped an assistant on multiple occasions and was considered emotionally and physically abusive towards staffers. Yeah, you're not allowed to grope people. That's assault. You could face prosecution for that. More details can be found on the Inch Snyder, and it appears DeMayo has chosen this as his hill to die on. Here's what his lawyer, Brian Friedman, told Deadline earlier today. I'm not going to go into all this because it's just kind of a long statement right here. You can read it yourself. I'll leave a link to this article in the description of the video if you want to check it out. But just to kind of sum it up, he was basically saying that Disney's lying. They have evidence. You can't silence him. He's willing to fight back against this. But it seems like it'd be kind of a dumb thing, because if he was sending these photos, then presumably there's actually evidence of it. Maybe he's saying, according to his contract or the agreement that they reached, he's still allowed to actually talk about the show, and them taking his name off the credits because he was talking about it is in violation of that. And if that's the case, then maybe he can present that evidence. But this seems pretty bad on his part. And someone who's abusive like this, I don't think there's going to be many people who are actually going to try to defend him. I don't know why he would be making these threats, though, if he really has nothing to back it up. Saying if he said he didn't do these sort of things and he doesn't think they have evidence to support it, then I don't know. He doesn't seem to be kind of arguing against these allegations against him, just that he's allowed to talk about the show, since that's why he's saying in the statement that you can't silence him and all that other stuff. So I don't know, maybe he thinks according to his separation agreement, he's allowed to talk about the show and Disney isn't. Is just Disney saying that they want to just separate from him entirely. So we'll have to just wait and see how this pans out. But right now, things look pretty bad for him. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. What do you think the real issue is? Do you think the issue is that he was wrongfully terminated, or that he should be able to talk about the show because he worked on it and he should be able to be credited on it? And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share the video out there, because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.